So once I get in the lobby with the officers, one of them told me they was gonna strip search me,
For
and I
what?
was just like, why? But I didn't say it. But I'm thinking to myself, why? So the officer was like, we're gonna need for you to drop your pants. And so I pulled my pants down, and then the other officer was like, now we're gonna need for you to not lift your shirt all the way up. We're gonna need you to pull your bra and shake it. Okay.
Ulti Max about to drive you mad.
Had a dream last night, God, what you tryna show to me? Promise seems surreal, wide awake like I'm never sleep. Had a dream last night, God, what you tryna show to me? Promise seems surreal, wide awake like I'm never sleep. Starting to toss turn, man, I just can't fight it. Every time I go to sleep, the same dream keep riding. God, won't you wake me up? I'm tired of the silence. I thought I'd hear clear if I just pray for some guidance. You know I might just go ahead and pay for some sleep. Old heads keep stressing me, you don't work, you don't eat. Man, I'll keep...
All right, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Topicz. Welcome to Peep Game TV, coming back at you with another story time. All right, check this out. We got a story time on a young lady who was said she was falsely accused of throwing contraband over the gate. You know what I'm saying? At the penitentiary. Don't know really what happened, but we gonna find out together like we always do. Y'all know how we do it over here at Peep Game TV. We all come in and, you know what I'm saying, and check the video out and see if we can find out some teachable moments in it. Y'all know what it is. Before we get in this video though, let me go ahead and I want y'all to go ahead and smash that like button. That's the thumbs up. Y'all know what it is by now. Y'all done seen these two thumbs enough. Know how that look. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what y'all think about this video. Don't forget to share it so we can get it keep it going in the algorithm. And if you loving the content, you know what I'm saying, you cool with it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And while you're hitting that subscribe button, go ahead and I'll go and hit it again so you'll get your notifications anytime I'm dropping a video. You'll be one of the first ones to get it. Yeah, with that being said, y'all, let's get into this one and see what's happening. Peep Game.
All right. So I want to do a story time on how I was falsely accused of throwing contraband over the fence at the jail. So I want to say it was in 2018 or 19. Don't quote me because I really can't remember. It either had to have been 18 or 19. So I was living in Montgomery at the time, and I would like come home on the weekends after work. So this weekend I was, got off work Friday, and I was going to travel home so I could be there in the morning for my nephew's birthday party. Mind you, it's his first birthday. So, okay. So I commute home, Saturday come, and me and my mama are headed to my nephew's first birthday. I think they had it at Pizza Hut. So at my nephew's first birthday party, we noticed that my brother wasn't there. So we was thinking like, why he ain't here? Like, So we like, well, maybe we early, he gonna come later. So as the party go on and on, my brother never showed up. So me and my mama asking like, did he tell y'all why he didn't come or if he was coming late? So everybody was like, they hadn't heard from him. So, after the birthday party, me and my mom was like, where's my brother? But we didn't know where he was. So I want to say that Saturday night or either that Sunday morning, I packed up my stuff to go home. On my ride home, I get a call from my parents that basically told me that the reason why my brother didn't show up was because he was in jail. And that they was going to be releasing him in like 4 to 8 hours. So I'm like, well, I'll go pick him up. This is what I said. I'll go pick him up. So I end up turning back around and going to the jail to pick my brother up. So on my way to the jail to pick my brother up, my phone went dead.
Oh, my bad, y'all. It was the
It's
jail.
like I knew where the jail was, but I didn't know where it was. So I went to what I thought was the jail. But you know, like you think you know where something's at, but you still like, nah, this ain't right. So when I got there, I pulled into the parking lot and I seen a deputy outside, so I flagged him down. And I'm like, hey, you know, I gotta pick my brother up. They said they're gonna be releasing him in, you know, a little while. I just wanna make sure I'm in the right place. He was like, yeah, you're in the right place or whatever. So I sit in the parking lot and wait. Mind you, my phone is dead, so I'm just listening to the radio. And to be honest, because my phone was dead, I really didn't know how much time had went by, you know, with me just sitting there. So I said, well, I'm going to drive around the prison, the jail, to see, like, if maybe they released him before I got here and he walking. Because at the time, my brother did not know that somebody was going to pick him up. You know, he probably knew he was going to be released, but he didn't know he had a ride out here waiting. So, you know, I drove around the jail or whatever to make sure that they hadn't released him when he was walking. Okay, I didn't see him, so I went back to the parking lot to wait. I waited again. Mind you, my phone is still dead, so I don't know how much time has went by. So what I did was I got out and walked up to the doors. Now, when you walk up to the doors, it's like 2 sets of stairs. So I walked up the stairs and I pulled the doors. They were locked, so I knocked. Nobody came to the door, so I went back and sat in the car. Now, I noticed that on the side of the building, there was a door. It's like a brick wall, and there's a door. And then there's a fence right next to that door. So, I sat in the car and just waiting. So I decided to get out and walk to the door. On my way walking to the door, like walking down the breezeway to go to the door, that deputy that I told you I seen in the beginning, who knew why I was there, he was like kind of ducked off up by the door. So when I walking up to the door, he's like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I was trying to make sure that y'all hadn't released my brother because I wanted him to know somebody was outside waiting on him.
Right.
And he was like, So he was like, come with me. So he take me back down the walkway where my car is. So while we walking, he ain't saying it. All right, so part 2 of how I was falsely accused of throwing contraband over the fence at the jail. So in the last video, I think we left off where the deputy was walking me to my car.
Right.
So as I was saying, like he was walking to my car, he was walking me back to my car. He really wasn't saying much. We were just walking in silence. But when we made it back to my car, I heard him get on the radio and say, I need 2 female officers to come outside. You know, I didn't think anything of it. So, 2 black officers came out. So when they came...
Hey, listen, let me let y'all in on a secret. Anytime, let's say 85-90% of the time, when you got 1 officer and they call back up, trust me, 9 times out of 10, yeah, it's gonna get a little escalated somewhere. Yeah, he ain't calling. They don't call back up for no reason.
They came out, you know, and they met me and deputy at the car. He was like, go with them. So I'm walking with them back into the jail. And mind you, I'm trying to paint a picture of for you of what the jail looks like. So it's 2 stairs. It's like 2 sets of stairs. Okay, so once you get in the stairs, then there's this glass entrance, and then once you actually enter the jail, it is like a lobby, and in this lobby, it has chairs. It's like chairs in there. Then they have a window like you can go up to and speak to somebody, and on the right they have like a bathroom. Then like if there's a camera that faces, you know, the lobby. So once I get in the lobby with the officers, one of them told me they was gonna strip search me.
Well,
and
what?
I was just like, why? But I didn't say it, but I'm thinking to myself, why? So the officer was like, we're gonna need for you to drop your pants. And so I pulled my pants down, and then the other officer was like, Now, we're going to need for you to not lift your shirt all the way up. We're going to need you to pull your bra and shake it. Okay. So I did it. Mind you, in this moment, I did whatever they told me to do. Because I felt like, even though I knew I hadn't did nothing wrong,
Right.
I just felt like I had to comply with them because I didn't want nothing to happen, you know. I mean, a lot of people be like, well, you ain't do nothing wrong, it's law. It is, but in that moment, I felt like my life was in their hands because they could do whatever they want to do to me. So after, you know
what? And that's what I always tell people when I'm talking. When you dealing with the law. Even though you haven't broke the law or you haven't done anything and they violating your rights, it's always best to just cooperate and then take that shit up with the legal, you know what I'm saying? Take that shit up in the legal, you know what I'm saying, with legal matters. You get what I'm saying? Because I always say, you will never win an altercation on side the road with a police officer. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by on side the road, I mean, you know what I'm saying, you will never win unless you're in front of a judge with a police officer, because it's always going to be your word. You get what I'm saying? And theirs. And they have, you know what I'm saying, pretty much they feel that, you know what I'm saying, you have to, you know what I'm saying, comply with any and everything they say, even if they wrong. You get what I'm saying? But it's always best to do what she did. I understand why she did what she did. You know?
they strip searched me. They didn't find anything. Mind you, while they're strip searching me, I want you not to forget this. It's in the lobby. The lobby that has glass windows, meaning anybody could have walked by.
Oh, no.
You know, anything could happen. I mean, anybody could have saw it.
Right.
And also, it's on camera. Remember that part. So after they strip searched me, I had like a crossbody purse. The lady went through the purse. And I think I had what is that thing called? Not a razor.
Box cutter.
What is it called? It's something like a razor. A box cutter. I had a box cutter.
Okay.
And she was asking me, like, why do you walk around with a box cutter in your purse? And I told her, I was like, well, I don't live here. I live somewhere else. I be commuting by myself. Sometimes I stop at gas station. It's just basically for my own protection. That's
just like asking a man, asking me why do I walk around with a pocket knife? Because, I mean, I can use it for protection. I might need to cut something. You never know. It's not against the law for her to have a box cutter in her purse. You know what I'm saying? At this point, yeah, they violating her rights. And like I said earlier, it's always best to comply at that moment. But I don't mean you comply and then just let it go. No. You make sure you follow up and fight, you know what I'm saying? And let it be known that, oh yeah, they make them accountable for that bullshit, you know? Shit. And she was like, So I asked, I said, can I go to the bathroom? And she was like, yeah, she showed me where the bathroom was. So when I went in the bathroom, mind you, I did not have to use the bathroom at all. I did not have to pee. But I wanted to get away from them because I am not going to lie. In that moment, I was so like, what's the feeling? I was devastated. Right. I felt like my innocence was taken. Like I just dropped my clothes in front of people I did not know. I don't know who seen it, who was going to watch it on the camera. Like, I just was embarrassed. Like, so I went in the bathroom and I sat on the toilet and I like cried for a minute. I kept telling myself like, you ain't did nothing wrong. You ain't did nothing wrong. You know, it's going to be okay. Just get through this. Like, it's going to be okay. Because, mind you, when I come out the bathroom, I don't know what's next. Like, I had no clue what was next. I feel like they had already did the worst thing they could do to me, but who knows? So
when I come out the bathroom, you know, I try to get myself together, get my mind right. And the two officers were like, you can go back out the door with the deputy. So, you know, I walked back out there to him. He's standing at my car, and he was like, we need to search your vehicle. And I said, he was like, is that okay? And I was like, yeah. Mind you, he didn't even have to ask me because there was a sign that said they could search your property while you're on, you know, the premises. So he was going through my car, and mind you, at the time, like I said, I had just came from my parents' house on the way back home, and I had my spend a night bags, and you know, I had other stuff that my mama gave me, you know, just to take home. And he was going through my bags. He found some ibuprofen 800s. Now, mind you, he had to really been digging to find these because they was in a bag on top of a bag on top of some more stuff. And so he was like, why do you got these? And why you got so many? And I told him, I was like, well, I take them because I have really bad menstrual cramps. And he was just like, oh, So he just keep on searching my car or whatever.
At this point, yeah, they just searching for some shit to find. You know what I'm saying? They they on no damn witch hunt now. Come on now.
Popping the hood. I'm just standing there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not interfering with nothing. I'm just standing there. I mean, whatever you say, whatever. So after that, mind you, this whole time he had his body cam on. He cut his body cam off. And he said, I just want to let you know that I apologize. So he said, I apologize. He was like, we assumed that you was throwing contraband over the fence. He was like, we've been having a lot.
Now let me say this, y'all. Check it. Now the reason I'm gonna tell you now, a lot of times the reason he cut his body camera off and apologized with the body camera off, because if he'd have left that body camera on, he's, you know what I'm saying, he's admitting guilt and wrongdoing. You get what I'm saying? And he don't want that recorded, because now you apologizing to her, so you know you was wrong. You know what I'm saying? So he cuts the body camera off and apologizes so she can't say, you know what I'm saying, so it's not recorded, which is some bull. Come on, man.
A lot of problems with that. And he was like, I'm not a deputy. I'm a detective. And I was like, you're a detective? He was like, yeah. I mean, I was out here trying to catch people throwing stuff over the fence because we've been having a lot of people do that. So I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, it's okay. You know, I'm agreeing. So after that, like, I want to say about good, I don't even know how long it was, but it was quick. They sent my brother right out.
Wow.
So my brother come out, he get in the car with me. I drop him back off at my mama them house. And I'm going to tell you, my mind was not where it needed to be, because I didn't even go in the house to charge my phone up. I just got on the interstate and headed back to Montgomery. So that night, you know, I went home or whatever. And the next day, I ended up talking to my mama. And she was asking me, like, you know, what happened. And I was telling her what happened. And she was like, that's not right.
No.
Then I was like, that ain't supposed to do that. She
No.
was like, no, they not supposed to do that. So what I did was, because I did not know the officer's name that did this to me or the detective that did it to me, like, I called back up to the prison and I put in a request in. Well, not prison, jail. I called back up to the jail to put a request in to speak to the warden. So I want to say that day or maybe the next day, the warden did reach out to me. And I basically told the warden what had happened. And the warden was like, that was not protocol. He was like, this is what I want you to do. You need to call this number, speak to this person, and y'all go from there. I don't remember who the person was that he wanted me to speak to, but I assumed that it was his boss, like somebody that's over him or higher. So I ended up speaking with the person number that he gave me. We're going to call him John. I don't even know I can't remember what his name was. But John was over the warden. So I called John. I told John what had happened to me. And John was like, if that's what's happened, then my deputies basically was doing what they were supposed to do. He was like, it sounded like that was policy. He just kept saying it. And I was like, that's crazy, because I spoke to the warden and he was like, that ain't the policy.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, but you know, if they did that, I trust them that they did it for a reason and that was what was supposed to be done.
See, this is what I don't like about, you know what I'm saying, the system. I don't like how they can violate someone's rights, you know what I'm saying, and then you take it to higher authorities. And because they got this, you know what I'm saying, this blue code while everybody stick together, you don't want to recommend your officers. But then you wonder why the citizens don't trust your officers. You get what I'm saying? And you wonder why it's hard to solve crime. It's a domino effect. If you got a group of officers who's violating people's rights, you see what I'm saying, and doing, you know what I'm saying, shit that's illegal, and they're being reported and nothing's being done when you report them to the hierarchy, and then they try to, gaslight you or try to, you know what I'm saying, explain or try to make it look like that they were right. Now you have a group of people who don't trust the system at all. So now when you come and talk to them, guess what? They standoffish. Because they don't know what type of officer they got. They don't know if, you know what I'm saying, somebody going to try to plant something on them. You going to violate my rights? If you do violate my rights and I report it, are you going to believe me? Is anything going to be done about it? You know what I'm saying? This shit is crazy, man.
And I was like, okay. You know, I didn't argue with him, and I was like, okay, that's fine. So I get off the phone with him, and I call my mom big, and my mom was like, no, they weren't supposed to do that. You need to find you a lawyer.
Yep.
So I tried to find a lawyer, like, locally where my parents stay. And I would reach out to lawyers, and they would come back and be like, oh, we can't help you.
Told you.
You need to just let it go. Like, there's nothing you can do. Like, just let it go. So I was just about to give up. And I don't even know how I came across this lawyer, but he's in Montgomery. His name was Mitch. He was a black guy. And I ended up calling his office, and I spoke to his secretary. And his secretary was like, well, you know, he can help, but we need to know what the case is before we schedule you to come in and speak with him. So I basically was explaining to her what had happened. And in the midst of me explaining it to her, she stopped me and was like, hold on 1 second. Like, just hold on. She was like basically in this belief that this had happened to me. Part 3 coming. All right, so part 3 of how I was falsely accused of throwing contraband over the fence at the jail. So the last part, I think, was when I called down there and spoke to the lawyer, secretary, to try to see if the lawyer could assist me. Make a long story short, he was like, yes, he can help me. He does feel like I had a case against the jail and that I needed to come in to speak with him. Like we set a meeting. Before I go on, I want to stop and say, I just want to tell you so you can have in your mind what kind of person he was. He was black. He definitely was. But his words were so eloquent. Like, he was definitely eating them up. You know what I'm saying? And it was like some of the stuff he would say, I wasn't even understanding, but I'm like, that sounds good. That sounds like money. I swear. What did you say? Could you spell that out for me? I have to look that up later. But when he talked, it was just so beautiful. Because he just sounded like somebody who knew what he was talking
doing
about. And he was going to do everything he said he was going to do. So, you know, I put it in his hands. I believed it, everything he said to me. But he had already told me from day one when I met him, he told, you know, like they tell you about themselves. He said back in the day, police officers had shot his daddy down in the street like a dog.
Oh, wow.
So he was like, he been out to get revenge ever since then. All right, so back to the store. So after I had got the lawyer, whatever, you know, we set up a meeting. John called me. If you remember who John was the guy that was over the warden. So he calls me and say, hey, Miss Tucker, how you doing? I said, I'm doing the same way I was when I spoke to you a couple of days ago. He said, that's good. I need for you to do me a favor. I said, what you need from me? He said, I need you to write a statement. Basically, just write down what happened that night when you was at the jail. I said, what, y'all gonna do an investigation now? He said, no, we need something on record basically saying that you told me about the issue and I told you that the issue was resolved and that everything that was done was within policy. I said, so after I write this statement, are you going to like write something back to me that's saying what was done to me was policy? He was like, no, we're just going to put it on file and we're going to move on. So I said, Mr. John, what happens to that video? He was like, what video?
Oh.
The video, the recording of when I was in the lobby showing all my goodies. Who seen the video?
Right.
He was like, well, nobody's seen it but the warden and I. I said, so you've seen the video personally? He was like, yeah, I've seen it. I said, so you still gonna say that what they did to me was correct? He said, yes, it was within policy. I said, okay. Well, John, I don't stay in the same county as you. He said, I know. What I'll do is I'll send 2 officers to your home and you can write a statement out and what'll happen is they'll get the statement to me. I said, so you mean to tell me you're gonna send 2 officers from Montgomery County to my house to write a statement about something that happened in another county? He said, yes, ma'am. I said, I'm not doing it. He was like, why? And I was like, I'm just not doing it. So what I want you to do, John, is I want you to talk to my lawyer.
There you
Anything
go.
you need from me, you go through my lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And so John was like, you got a lawyer? Why would I not? So I hung up on John. I just couldn't do the conversation with John no more. Because John was just blowing me.
See, they thought she was after John thought once he said what he said, she was just gonna let that shit go. Cause I hate to say it, so many people do. Thankfully, she didn't. She stuck with it, you know what I'm saying, and got her a lawyer, cause she understood that, after talking to her mama, that this shit was they had violated her fucking rights. Let me stop.
Because it's like, bro, you watched the video and you still came to the same conclusion?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, after that, I called my lawyer. I told him John reached out to me, and John basically said he was going to send 2 police officers to my house to do a statement. He said that anytime did you give him your address? I said, no, I never gave him my address. He said, well, they're not coming to your house because you ain't going to give them your address. He asked for John information, and he was like, I'll reach out to John. And so basically, I guess he reached out to John because he called me back the next day, and he was like, look, John ain't sending nobody to your house. And he was like, don't accept no more calls from John or nobody else. He was like, anybody that needs to get in touch with you can go through me. So I'm like, cool, I ain't got to worry about John calling me no more, none of that. So all of that ceased. Like, John was not calling me no more. And basically, John told my lawyer that it was no reason for me to be contacting him, which I never contacted him after the first time when he told me what was done to me was correct. So it's like after that time went by, it was like quiet for a while. I want to say it was quiet for probably a good 3, 4, 5 months, maybe 5, 6 months. My lawyer would call me and tell me that they was doing certain things, but he really didn't have too much information. Till we got to month 7, my lawyer actually got a copy of the videotape of me in the lobby showing my goodies. It was on and popping in. He was furious. He said, when I look at this video, I see my daughter. Like, this could have been my daughter. This could have been my mama. Like, this is disgraceful. Remember, I told you, his words. It's like, when he talk, you just want to listen. So, after he watched the video, he was so disgusted. He was like, you know what? I want you to go home tonight, and I want you to sleep good. Because I got something for you. I got something coming for you. Part 4. Part 4, and also the ending of how I was falsely accused of throwing Contraband over their fence at the jail. So after my lawyer had seen the video of me undressing in the lobby, the settlement kind of went cold for a while. I think about once it had got to 1 year mark, that's when my lawyer had called me and told me that we were going to litigations. And basically what litigation is we go in and get everything that happened on record. And they can either decide to settle or we can take it to court. So basically when we went to litigations, it was like in Mobile, we went to the courthouse. My lawyer actually was up there before I was. So I had to get on the elevator, get to the 3rd floor to the glass conference room where everybody was. Now mind you, the women that were at the jail, I don't remember how they looked at all. Like, I could see them. I mean, I could see them and not even know it's them. So when I was getting on the elevator, they were on it. And I heard one of the officers say, is that her?
Oh, wow.
And I turned around and I said, yeah, that's me. And I got off the elevator. So when litigation started, the first person who was questioned was the detective. One of the things I remember my lawyer asking the detective was, what made him want me to be searched? And he said I was acting suspicious by, like, walking up to the door, getting back in the car, which I did. I did everything that he said I did. I did get in the car, pull off, walk up to the door. But I only did that because I was lost. My phone was dead. And I didn't want to just be sitting.
And ain't he the one she talked to when she first got there? You know what I'm saying? And told that she was waiting on her brother. So you knew why she was there. All you had to do is go in there and check the records and see that her brother was supposed to be getting out. So, come on now.
Sitting out there for nothing. So I was trying to get help.
Right.
But remind you, I told him when I got there what I was there for. So he knew that. And it's like, well, had he just tried to call inside the jail and say, hey, we got somebody sitting out here saying they come to pick up such and such, none of that would have happened because I told him my phone was there too. And he did none of that. He just thought that he had a hit. He thought he had somebody who was actually trying to throw something over the fence, but I wasn't. I was only there to pick up my brother. That's it.
See, and that's the stuff I don't like. When you profile somebody and get it wrong, and instead of just, you know what I'm saying, standing on, you know what I'm saying, your mess up, you would rather try to jump, you know what I'm saying, have somebody jump through, you know what I'm saying, hurdles and hoops, you see what I'm saying, to make it look like you were within your right to do what you did, you know what I'm saying, to violate, you were within your right to violate them like that. Nobody told you to be gun-ho and assume she was doing something illegal, you know what I'm saying? But instead of you saying, you know what, I apologize, we really messed this up. You know what I'm saying? I'm so sorry. Which I don't think you took it too far anyway, even if she was doing, you know what I'm saying, she was, you know what I'm saying, doing something illegal. You having her go in there in the lobby and y'all strip searching her, it's still violating her rights. I don't understand why, you know, people think even if somebody break the law, that it's okay to have their rights violated. That still don't make it okay. You know y'all are supposed to, you know, be up front and go, you know what I'm saying, do shit the right way to catch criminals. If you know what I'm saying, breaking the law to catch the criminal, then you know better than the criminal. In my book. Shit.
Hey, like what a girl said, I just came to dance and that's it. So my lawyer also asked him, like, what made him just not try to help me? And he told him, he was like, because he thought that I was trying to throw something over the fence. That was the main issue. At the time, they did have people who were going up to that jail, throwing stuff over the fence for them inmates. But it wasn't me. Right. I came to get my brother. That's it. That's all. Also, something else that we learned was the deputy's body cam was on. So with the deputy's body cam being on, he went up to the door when they was undressing me in the lobby, when I was getting undressed in the lobby, and he was looking.
Oh, wow.
And one of the things he said was, oh, shit. So my lawyer asked him, like, when you were up at that window, when you were looking in, and you said, oh, shit, why did you say that? Did you say that because you like what you seen, or did you say that because you knew what y'all was doing was wrong?
Facts.
He answered, which was to be expected. Like, what could he say? If he answered question A or question B, it still puts him at fault.
You know?
So the other ladies that were in the lobby telling me to undress, one of them, you could tell that she knew what they were doing was wrong, what had been done was wrong, but she really didn't want to say too much because it put her job in jeopardy. Because one of the things she did say was she knew that what was done wasn't supposed to be done, but it wasn't nothing she could do about it.
Didn't say no.
Which was a lie, because she could have stopped
Yeah,
it.
she
Like,
could
oh,
have.
don't do that. No, you're not supposed to do that. She didn't stop it, but I felt like she did have some type of remorse for what had happened. The other lady, like, she just didn't give a fuck. She was like, oh, well, that was her. If she wanted to pull her clothes down. Lady, I only did that because you told me to.
Right.
Oh. Anyway. So after litigations, you know, after everything had blew over, my lawyer basically had told me that in 2 weeks, he knew they would be calling trying to settle with us. And that's exactly what happened. 2 weeks later, we got a settlement, and they're basically asking us, did we want to settle? My lawyer had went ahead and told me, he was like, you need to settle. Which I was fine with settling with the amount because I came in with nothing. Mind you, I didn't pay $1 for this settlement because my lawyer paid everything. At the end, we were going to split whatever I got. I would get 40, he would get 20. Like 40%, he'd get 20%. So, you know, I was fine because even after, like, you know, when this was done, once I got some money, like, it was more than what I came in there with. So I didn't want to take it to court or nothing. I just wanted to be over. So that's what happened. We definitely took the settlement. Now, I can't disclose the amount of what the settlement was because that was a part of one of the clauses and agreements. But I can say it was the most that I've ever received for pulling down my pants. I can say that.
All right, y'all. Yo, that's that one right there. That's that story time. Teachable moments. Like I say, my thing is this. You know what I'm saying? We know that the system is rigged, and we know it's jacked up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, you know what I'm saying, you be, hell, even if you driving down the street and you see them blue and red lights behind you, if they start, you know what I'm saying, flashing, you know what I'm saying, you ain't been and did nothing. You be legit. And, you know what I'm saying, you get a little nervous. And it shouldn't be that way. But it's only that way because you don't know what type of officer you going to, you know what I'm saying, encounter. Now, I don't know how it is for, you know what I'm saying, everybody, but I know how it is for most of the people that, you know what I'm saying, I hate to say it, that look like me. You don't know what type of officer you're going to get. You might get a cool officer that's, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, cool and just, you know, want to do his job and go on home. And then you might get one of them a-holes that's, you know what I'm saying, think he King Tut and everything is, he him. You get what I'm saying? And you have no say-so in the matter. It's what he say and that's it. Yeah, those are the officers that give police officers a bad name. Even the good officers, if you don't say nothing, then guess what? You're just as wrong and guilty as the one who you know what I'm saying, who violate the you know what I'm saying, the citizens' rights. I always tell, you know what I'm saying, the young men that I mentor that you need to stand on a constitution. And a constitution is a certain set of rules that I go by that I'm just not gonna bend, period. You know what I'm saying? When I wake up in the morning, I look in that mirror and I evaluate myself as a man for that day. I ask myself, did I go against any of the rules in my constitution yesterday? And if I did, then guess what? Then I need to either go out there and correct it. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to have to look in within myself and find out, okay, Theo, Topicz, you fucking up. You need to fix something. You know? So for the lady that, you know what I'm saying, knew she was wrong but didn't say nothing, I have a problem with people like that. Because I don't mean no harm. My job ain't going to let me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go against something I know that is wrong and violating somebody's rights. You get what I'm saying? Or hurting somebody just to keep a job. Because see, then how can you sleep? You know? That's just my 2 cents on it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm your boy Topicz, Peep Game TV. Y'all don't forget to smash that like button. Leave y'all comments down in the comment section. Share this shit. And if you're enjoying the content, y'all hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit it again so you can turn your notifications on. So anytime I drop one of these story times or any video, you'll be one of the first ones to get it. I get at y'all with the next video.